All right, we're here discussing day 5, CY1. Again, if I'm here in the curriculum map, I click on day 5. It's going to take me to quite a few links. Do not be overwhelmed. I would say a link that's really important is if you're confused on how to do the Amazing Race, you might want to watch this quick tutorial before you begin. Otherwise, let's get into it. This lesson is pretty simple in the sense that we want two major objectives to be met. We want to introduce and review the new Bell schedule with our students, and then we want to engage them in the campus and understanding the campus. And so today is, of course, our Amazing Race. Here are some new terms for us. And then also the schedule feels very, again, truncated. It feels that way, but it's actually a pretty robust day. So bell ringer agenda, prayer, quote discussion, the bell schedule, and then we commence the Amazing Race. So here I am in our slide deck. Students at this point are opening their planners to page 30. They know what they're doing. You set the timer. We move them through. We're going to begin a new prayer. So the last 2 weeks of CY1 are, we're going to do the prayer for generosity. So express to them that this is a prayer that we pray on Fridays. It's another prayer that they need to know for Theology 9. And then go for it, read it together. Whatever you decide to do for prayer is appropriate. We want to pick a norm. What's the best norm for collaboration? So have them pick that because today is highly collaborative. And then go over the agenda. The agenda feels short, but it's a lot. We're going to go over the quote, going to talk about our schedule, and then move into Loyola's Amazing Race. Have a quick quote discussion. Teachers can open the door, but you must enter it yourself. Answer these questions. What doors has your education open to you? How is CY1 a door to Loyola? And have them kind of speak about that, talk about that. And then we're going to get into it. We're going to tell them that their schedule looks very particular. It's a 5-5-4-5-4. And they might be like, what does that mean? It's Monday, Tuesday, 5 periods, Wednesday, 4 periods, Thursday, 5 periods, Wednesday, 4 periods. This is new to all of Loyola, including the seniors and the teachers. What it looks like is we have what's called a rotating schedule. So on Monday, August 19th, that's the second week of school because the first week of school is kind of funky. It's periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will not meet, your period 6 or your period 7 teachers. What does that mean? What do we think Tuesday is going to look like? Hopefully they answer 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. And if they did, then they understand it because it's rotating. So it's 5-5-4-5. What periods are we going to meet on Wednesday? That's right, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's what's interesting about Wednesdays. Wednesdays are always late starts because we have a faculty meeting in the morning from 8 to 9:10. So students will not begin taking classes until 9:30. Also, we want to point their attention to what's called academic time. Academic time is when teachers will be on campus from 2:10 to 2:40. That happens on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And all teachers and all coaches are required not to schedule practice during academic time. Sort of a built-in office hours. I might ask students, what do we think office hours are? And it's opportunity for tutoring, clarification, etc. All right. If it's a 5-5-4-5, it's 5-4, it's hard to say, 5-5-4-5-4. We know that Thursday is going to be 5 periods. So what does that look like? You bet it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. And then because we have a 4 at the end, 6, 7, 1, 2. Academic time again is on Thursday. But what's cool about our Fridays now is that we have an early dismissal. There's no lunch period and there's no academic time. So you get out at 12:38. So our schedule kind of looks a little funky, but that's what kind of our second week of school will look like. We also know that you just got your Power School, your schedules for next year have been up. So we actually want you to go ahead and fill out your second day of school guide on page 23. They're going to notice that on the other page, page 22, is a campus map. So we want them to write down who they have for periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also want them to write down what class and where. The where sometimes doesn't publish when we give schedules. So on Canvas modules, and you're going to have to be really explicit about this, on the module, once it loads, let's pretend I'm in Andre's class. I'm going to do student view. Again, because this is turned off or this isn't published yet. I'm doing this in advance. You're going to see something that says classroom numbers for teachers of Frosh. So I'm going to leave the student view for a second. I'm going to go here and we're on week 3. Remove that actually. And no, that was where it's supposed to be. Oops. We're going to click on it. And all of the Frosh teachers, I've written their classrooms. So again, that's just to help students locate where folks are supposed to be. So direct them, say under the week 3 module, where it says classroom numbers for teachers of Frosh. They will click on that and they'll be able to add the classroom numbers to that graphic. Once they're done writing down who they have for this entire week, again, this spell schedule mirrors what they have in their planners. We're then going to ask them to use the campus map and actually map out the routes. So like when I go from, I need to have an awareness because if I have a class in Berendo, period 1, and then I immediately need to get to, let's say, Penny Hall, period 2, I probably don't have time for a bathroom break. So it's really important to know what's going to be the rough transitions. So have them sort of map out on the map where they're going. And speaking of maps, we actually want you to get to know the campus. So welcome. This is the 2nd annual Amazing Race of Loyola on page 31. We've got some ground rules. So how this works is students must return by, and it's your job in the lesson plan. I wrote clearly like 5 minutes before the period ends. So if the period ends at 9:15, I'm going to have this be they must return by 9:10, or your team will be disqualified from the grand prize. They might ask, well, what is the grand prize? And the grand prize is to be determined, but essentially it's going to be a $25 gift card to Amazon. When they're doing the Amazing Race, they're going to be walking all around campus. So they need to be quiet. They need to walk, especially when they're inside. There are other classes going on, and not every class has, there are some students that are in class that will do the Amazing Race. So it's really important that we respect their learning. All clues can be found within campus, though they do not need to exit school grounds. There's no reason why they should be off campus. And then some clues require talking to an LHS adult. Instead of being like, hey, can I have a selfie? Or running into them, we want to say, hey, my name is blah, blah. We're doing the Amazing Race. Would you mind? So help them, coach them up on being respectful. Finally, some important notes. They can do the Amazing Race in any order. They have to complete at least 10 tasks. As the grader, you are grading. Do they finish 10? They get 10 out of 10. Some tasks do require the internet, and for the purposes of the Amazing Race, they can have their phone since it's harder to run around with their computers. No splitting up. They have to stay in their quads. There's no reason why one guy goes this way and the other guy goes the other way. No, they need to stay together. That's why you teachers, if you're just kind of observing, making sure that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So get them into their quads, however you decide to do that. Determine who the team captain is. And they're going to go to Canvas Modules Week 3 Intellectually Distinguished, and they're going to open this Amazing Race clue sheet. When they open it, they're going to be a little overwhelmed, but they need to read the instructions. In fact, if I was the classroom teacher, I'd have someone read them right there. Have a team captain read it. Click on the hyperlinks below to provide your evidence for the following 44 clues. For those clues that have camera icons, they require photographic evidence. Don't sleep on the side quest for 30 points. Good luck. Total points is 120 points. Then they're going to make a copy. So they'll go to File. I like to model this. Make a copy. And they'll make a copy of that. They're going to, the main quest again is this part. So if I, for example, how many AGs can you spot and where AMDGs? I'm going to click on that. And this is, there's more information inside of the clue. Hint, not ad majorem Dei gloriam spelled out. So only AMDG. They're going to write the names of the buildings and locations and the number that they found. Again, I gave you the key so you can check this work later. So I'm going to go back to the top. Let's say get a selfie with the Pope. They'll put their selfie here, no Photoshop. So we're not asking for AI generated Pope pictures, right? So here we are. It's pretty self-explanatory. I would say that even though I don't want them running with a bunch of computers, maybe have one computer for this because they can airdrop the pictures to someone's computer, and that might be a little bit more seamless. And then there's a side quest. So I'm going to give you a punch card. It looks just like this. And this punch card is, there are 8 individuals on campus, myself included, that will be hiding out and waiting for students to come to them. Hint for you is that all first stop is the main office. And so if I go to the Loyola's Amazing Race and I click on the side quest, the first clue is right there and it's going to lead them to the main office. Once we are there at the main office, they're going to stamp it and they're going to give them the next clue. And each period has a different route. That's where you go to the side quest document. So if I'm here, side quest routes, you'll see period 1 will go from main office to admissions. Period 2 will do main office to chapel. Period 3 will do main office to student center. And period 4 will do main office to library. So we tried to vary the routes so that if kids kind of figure out the side quest, that they at least have to do it in a different order. And it's a 30-point opportunity. If the students complete the side quest, then for me as the grader, that's going to count for the 10 points. So if they minimally complete the side quest, because it's a little bit more difficult than the actual scavenger hunt, the Amazing Race, that for me that's a completion grade. But their goal is to try to get the most amount of points to win the glory, right? Okay. Some other things that might be helpful, again, they need to use the bookmarking going back to the top. These camera icons, just really reading these instructions is going to be essential. And they have basically the whole rest of the period to do that. Send them out, have a great time. You need to be back here by 9:10 if I'm in period 1, or you need to be back here by 10:35 if I'm in period 2, right? You need to be explicit. When they come back, you should have this projected. Congratulations, you made it. Team captain, I want you to email me a PDF version because we don't want them editing the document as they go. I want you to email me a PDF version of your Amazing Race. I want you to use email etiquette and I want you to CC your teammates so that you all can get credit. There's no homework. Enjoy your Independence Day weekend. Next class is next Tuesday, the 9th of July. And that, my friends, is the Amazing Race.